last year, when I was sitting right where you all are, I was scared for two reasons. The first one being that I had no idea what pictures my mom had put on the slideshow. And then the second one was that I was starting a new chapter of my life, and that was a little scary, or like a lot scary. I always told myself and others that I would never grow up. As much as I didn't want to at this time last year, I knew I was growing up. My senior year was full of decisions that I had to make on my own, and each one would have a huge impact on my life. I'm sure you understand college or workforce, which college, which job, what to study, do you live on campus, get an apartment, or live at home? Making these decisions meant being grown up enough to consider everything that they meant. As some of you know, I chose to go to Smith College and to double major in government and Spanish. The double major ensured that I had plenty of work. Doing well in my classes was a priority, but I didn't push myself to get all A's as hard as I did in high school. At the beginning of the year, one of my friends saw me up late still working, and the next day she printed out a quote for me to hang on my wall, and it read, "Grades don't measure intelligence, and age doesn't define maturity." My biggest suggestion when it comes to classes is to try your best on every assignment, but to not let grades take over your life. Although classes are very important, I have learned that social activities are equally as important. This applies to those of you who are also going into the workforce. Make sure that you all put time into activities other than work or homework. On a similar note, don't too much. I learned this the hard way. On top of classes, working at Smith, and teaching music lessons back at home, I joined the wind ensemble, Best Buddies, and the rugby team. I also became a health representative and a special events coordinator for my dorm. Many of my days looked like practice at 6 a.m., 2 classes, grab lunch, 3 hours of work, grab dinner, 2 meetings that didn't end until 10, and then homework. So although I made it work and enjoyed all of these activities, it was a lot to handle. When deciding what activities to do, make sure you give yourself enough time to relax. As much as I would love to keep talking about my first year, I don't want to keep you here all night, so I made you a quick list of tips. Sleep. Don't skip meals to do work. Be social. If living on campus, only bring what you need. Packing and unpacking is a hassle. My parents told me this when I was packing and I didn't believe them. I thought I needed everything, and it made it very difficult. Use your professors, bosses, or colleagues to learn. They can teach you a lot. Remember that grades don't measure intelligence and age doesn't define maturity. Manage your time wisely, so no procrastinating, or at least not all the time. And very importantly, when things get rough, use your friends and family as support. But you can do it.
Thank you very much, Allison. That was wonderful. My next speaker I'm going to have is, the next speaker I'm going to call up here is Rhonda Hunter, who's going to give us some words of wisdom.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? So it was an honor to be here for all the teams. I work with some of them and work with Jermaine. And when he asked me to do this, I thought, okay, words of wisdom. And what I do for a living, I think encourage kids to do that and to move on. And I work in a school, so I was honored to speak on words of wisdom. And excuse me, as you walk with your journey, as you continue this with the Lord, I love that Pastor Kenny, his prayer kind of kept resonating, and in my spirit and heart, I thought Proverbs. Proverbs is the book of pretty much wisdom. You guys, it's great little blurbs. It's not like most of the books in the Bible where you read and it has little snippets. So the one I picked is Proverbs 16:9, and it reads this: "In his heart a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps." So whoever's going to college or high school or moving on, you have many milestones. Along your walk with the Lord, you guys will make plans, but the Lord has a plan for your life. Story of my journey. So I was in high school, and I wanted to be a pediatrician because I love kids and I love biology. But when I went to my little seminar, where you guys have done that, where you want to go on your job and you look to see what you want to do, I was getting sick and nauseous, going around the hospital, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And they were bringing us into surgical rooms, and I was getting dizzy. So I said to my friend, I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna throw up or pass out. So she's like, what do you mean? Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. I gotta go. So I leave, and then I had a crisis. I'm my, junior year, I'm applying to colleges, and what am I gonna do? And I thought, oh my God, I was a Christian then. I thought, oh Lord, I thought, we agreed. I was gonna be a pediatrician, what are you doing? And he said, and as life would have it, as God was directing my path, I had a teacher who I took a class, and he said, Rhonda, you're really good at this. And I'm like, what's this? So it was a psychology class, and I did, I loved it. I got all A's, and it was easy. So I didn't know the jobs at the time, what entailed psychology, what could you do with that, who could you work with? So I thought, well, only people who kind of are in an institution, I don't want to do that. So he's like, he sent me to the library, I looked up some stuff, and I thought, oh, they have child psychology. So that's the route that God led me on, because I was so set. I'm a planner, my husband will tell you. I was like, pediatrician. So when I found out that wasn't going to work, because my stomach and mind and everything wouldn't allow me to, I did psychology, and I love it. And I think God is great. He's really good at directing our paths with timing. I love what Allison said. She's going along her path, and I just want to impart this wisdom, guys, that just have the Lord or include Him in all of your decision-making processes, and He will direct your path. And it may not look, as you heard about my little story, the way you think you're going to go, but He puts you in a place where He needs you, you're comfortable, and you'll thrive in all that you do. So guys, good luck, and I think all of you will do great as the Lord leads you. Thank you.
Being a mom has been the most rewarding and challenging job I've ever had. When Mark and I planned to have our second baby, we thought May was the perfect month. Well, things didn't go as planned. My water broke on February 3rd. I was 27 weeks pregnant, and I was put on bed rest in the hospital for 4 weeks long. I was 31 weeks when Garrett was born on May 1st, 1998. He just got his ends mixed up, March and May. Garrett was in NICU for the first 6 weeks of his life. And he came home for 4 days, and then he had some breathing issues called bronchial pulmonary dysplasia. So he went back and forth to the hospital for another 6 weeks. On Mark's birthday, July 9th, 1998, Garrett got taken off of oxygen, and things improved. When Garrett was 18 months old, he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy by his physical therapist that came to the house, and I started crying because I didn't know if it was a progressive disease. And we educated ourselves, and the neurologist confirmed that it was just a brain injury that happened at birth, and what it is what it is. And I could handle that because I wasn't going to lose my little boy. We got him the therapies he needed and treated him no different than his sister. We let him try everything he wanted. I didn't want his handicap to define who he was. I wanted there to be no boundaries. In fact, when the handicap placard came in the mail, Garrett asked, who was handicapped and why did it come in the mail for us? Garrett's always had an ear for music. He was less than 2 years old when Cassidy had a dance class. They would start playing the music, and in less than 2 notes, he would start singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Garrett's always had his own determination. When we went to Shriners Hospital, he was about 19 months old. I asked if he was going to walk unassisted, and they said he had bigger fish to fry. Well, when he was 22 months old, he put down his little silver walker, and he started walking on his own. He has a very full, well-rounded life. He enjoys spending time with his family, friends. He's been at Cub Scouts. He loves camping, going to the beach, riding his bike. He's active in a drama class. He plays sled hockey. He sings in the church choir. He has a little cleaning job, and he kept score for the CYO basketball and many, many other things. Garrett, we are so proud of you. You are full of compassion and have great personality. You used to ask, why do I have to have cerebral palsy? Why can't my legs be like everyone else's? And I've always told you, God doesn't make mistakes. There's a reason, and I don't know why. I do know that God has great plans for you, and that you're an inspiration for a lot of people. You have a lot of determination, and you have a lot of big goals. The most important thing is that you love the Lord. I know that if you keep walking with God, all your plans will succeed. Stay strong in the Lord. I'm sure that you will do great things. One thing is for sure, your family is always there for you, and we love you.
Thank you very much, Mark and Kim, for those remarkable words. Next we have is Tosin Omajola and her parents, Ola and Bode Omajola. We had a little discussion. Will you do it? Will I do it? Eventually, it fell on me. So, there is a sense in which the life of a kid is a reflection of the life of a family. And the first thing I want to do is to give glory to God for what He has done for us as a family. It's been an interesting journey for Tosin, and God has been with her all through the journey. And the journey began in Nigeria, but that will be a long history, so I'll start from when we arrived here in Boston. We spent 2 years in Boston. We were completely new in the US, and the fears that we had fears, we had anxieties. How would the kids cope in school? They were very good in Nigeria, but when you come here, you realize that the English that you speak in Nigeria is very different from the one that is spoken in the US. As you can easily notice in my very Americanized accent. So she had problem within and outside the classroom. How to cope with this educational system, and then to make friends, and so on and so forth. We were there for 2 years, and then I got this job here at Maholio College. I don't think that Tosin was able to overcome those challenges. So when we got this job, it was like a bittersweet, a good job. But then if our kids couldn't cope well in Boston, what's going to happen in South Hadley? So we came here. God led us to this church in a miraculous way. That's another story for another day. But then, some 2-3 weeks later, after she had enrolled in school, she came and said, "You know what, Dad and Mom, I think I actually like here, South Hadley." That was a big relief. And ever since, things have been wonderful. She's been very hardworking. She's always reading, always on her bed reading. At times I'll beg her, "Please come and watch TV." So that Victor can stop watching TV for a minute, you know. But she kept working very hard. She's very independent now, very hardworking, but I cannot but remember the first day I took her to school in Nigeria. She was very excited, starting school. She was 2 years old. Those schools are called nursery schools, they're for little kids. And on that day, we took the car, went to the school. She was excited. And then they gave her her uniform. They wear uniforms in Nigeria. She put them on. She was very happy. They showed her the teacher. She was very excited. They took her to the classroom. She was smiling. And then I said, okay, Tosin, bye. I'll come and see you later today. And that was when the drama started. She cried and cried and cried. She went and held my right foot and said, Daddy, you cannot leave me here. But I had to leave, and as I went to my car, I was hearing her still crying on and on and on. But as I said, things have changed a lot. So I just want once again to thank God, to thank this church, but most importantly to thank my wife. She's been a wonderful woman, holding the family together. I do little traveling. But she's always holding everything together. So thank you very much, and thank you, Church and Tosin. We are ever so proud of you. Thank you.
Just to add to what my husband said, Tosin is a very independent person. She's very patient, intelligent, respectful, and very calm. I want to talk a little bit about what I cherish most about virtue is the calmness. You could rely on Tosin. You know, even when everything is turning upside down in the midst of chaos, she's always very calm, and that's a virtue, which I don't have. My other daughter doesn't have it. She's always very calm, and I'm always happy to share with her, even intimate things. She's only 17, but the way I relate to her, you think she's, sometimes after sharing with us, oh, wait a minute, she's only 17, you know, but the advice as the first person who spoke, Alison, it's not the age that defines maturity sometimes, you know. It's just a virtue that is bestowed on you as a child of God, depending on, you know, she has that. And I miss that a lot. In fact, I try to hold on to my emotion. I really miss that. And also, she doesn't know this, I'm going to miss, I'm doing my master's at Ames College in nursing. Last, maybe 2 semesters ago, I took accounting, which I've never done in my life. I didn't like it. I hated it because I wasn't good. I'm not good at math. But I almost dropped out of this program, if not because of Tosin. When I shared this with my friend at school, they couldn't believe it. I passed the class, I got an A in the class because we did the assignment together. When she was a junior. So I'll bring the accounting homework home, and we do it together. She's never taken accounting before. She's never done anything that I did in school before. But this girl will look at my textbook, read the textbook, Mom, give me 30 minutes. She comes up with the answers. I don't know how she. And she put income, balancing of check, and all things like that, which is amazing. She's very intelligent, and I thank God that it's God's gift. Sometimes she go way beyond, you know, because when she gets a B+, she's not happy. I want to get an A. So I'm happy that she was here. She's here to listen to what Alison said. It's not all about A's. You know, you have other things outside of studying. You know, I'll miss that from you. I don't know, I still have some months to go. I'll be done next year. I don't know who's going to help me with my assignments. But I really miss you, and we love you dearly. And I want you to keep on doing what you're doing. Be calm even in the midst of chaos in the world. The way don't change because of college or because of the environment you are. You do perfectly well. You know, with the spirit of calmness, even in the time of storm. You know, and that's a great virtue. And we really love you. We're going to miss you so dearly. Thank you.
Thank you, Amajolas, for that. Next we have is Nate Price and his mom, Diane, to come up and say a few words about him.
Hi, I'm Diane, of course, I'm Nate's mom, and I'm so glad to be here today as we celebrate Nate's graduation from Pathfinder. And thank you, Jermaine, for inviting me here. As parents, we always ask ourselves at a time like this, where did the time go? Where did it go? And it just seemed like yesterday that Nate entered this world. And I'm not sure if any of you knew this, but Nate was a preemie too. And he was 10 weeks early, not his fault. And he was weighing in at 3 pounds 14 ounces, Nate. He was so fragile, I was so scared to even touch him and hold him because I thought he would just like break. I used to call him little chicken legs because his legs were like chicken legs. It's true. And the little nappies, well, we call them nappies in England, little diapers, you know, little tiny things like this. Sorry. I get in my car after, quick. But you know what, Nate? Even through all that, God had your back, you know. He brought you through a few hurdles in the early days when you were born. And just looking at you now, Nate, you have turned out to be a beautiful, handsome young man, and taller than me. And you had, and you still have, a fighting spirit in you. Nate, as you get ready to enter a new chapter in your life, as you get ready to go to college, this is the beginning of new dreams and accomplishments that God has for you. And I am so proud of the young man that you have become, and I'm so blessed and honoured to be your mom. Nate, I thank God for you every day. I love you so much. And my prayer for you, Nate, is that you keep your eyes fixed on Jesus and put him first in all things. And I do have a few Bible verses that the Lord sent me to, if it's okay to read. Proverbs 3:5. I want you to memorize these, Nate, and instill them into your heart. Okay. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Jeremiah 29:11-13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged. That's the last one. Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. I love you, Nate. And I thank God for you every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane, for that. Next, I'd like to call up Amelia Tocchio and her mom, Nancy Price.
you who don't know Amelia, I would like to tell you just a bit about her. Amelia is the last of my 4 children. When she was born, she joined her 5-year-old brother and her 2-year-old twin sisters. In a lot of ways, twins are a tough act to follow. But somehow Amelia was up for that challenge, and she provided a perfect ending for our family. I'm not sure if it's the youngest child syndrome, but ever since she was a toddler, she showed that she had a great sense of humor, a tendency to enjoy taking risks, and a fearless determination that really separated her out from the others. As early as 5 years old, Amelia demonstrated a strong desire to help others. She may not even remember this, but her kindergarten teacher told me of how Amelia had befriended a classmate who had a speech problem, and she would go around translating her words so others could understand. When asked how she was able to understand her, Amelia simply said, "It's because she's my friend." Amelia, I have learned so much from you. I have learned that love goes way beyond what is seen or understood. I have learned that every single person deserves to be loved and that nobody has the right to judge another human being. Over and over, I see you reaching out to those kids who are lonely and misunderstood. I see you taking up their causes and having their backs. I've even seen you challenge adults and school officials when you see students mistreated. As a compassionate young woman, I have also witnessed your heartbreak. I am often saddened and angry that you have struggled with depression and anxiety. I never would have imagined that your strength for others would not alleviate your own feelings of helplessness. At the same time, I know that God is going to use not only your gifts, but also your struggles to make the world a better place. Your plan is to be a social worker and to help others be whole again. I cannot think of a better profession for you. May you continue to pour your heart and soul into taking good care of others. May you trust God with your own broken pieces and believe in His promise to transform them for His glory. I love you with all my heart, Amelia. May you grow to appreciate everything God has in store for you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Next we have Teresa Yebraninsky with her mom, Christine Cutler, and her stepdad, Ken.
We too had a conversation on who would do this, but it wasn't a conversation. He's not doing it. He never would. So I'm going to preface this by saying, you'll see some pictures up here that you might think I messed up and put my younger daughter, but I just have children that all look exactly the same. So to start off, if I was to think of a word that describes Teresa from the moment I was pregnant, it's probably the word tenacious. We have this saying in our house, it's called never give up, and all of my girls have that. So out of 5 children that I've delivered, and I've been induced for 4 of them, Teresa was not induced, and yet she was born in an hour and a half. She had plans to do that day. She was the type of child that when she was young, if there was a door she wasn't supposed to go through and we put up 12 packs of ginger ale in front of it, I would see an 18-month-old toddler walking 12 packs of soda across the house to get to where she needed to go. Then she gets to grade school and she's always volunteering for everything, and we have a blended family, so we have ours, yours, and mine, 7 altogether that we raise. So some nights when she wanted cupcakes, I'm too tired, but Teresa always found a way. I would either wake up in the morning and see cupcakes on the counter ready to go, or she'd find a way to get to my mother's house and make big goods, but she'd always get the job done. she was always busy in school, in dance, signing up, the treasurer of her class. Of my group of children that I offered to the family, she was the youngest of 3, and the 2 older ones always considered her the do-gooder. Oh, Teresa never does anything wrong, and as a parent, it's always nice to have the one that never does anything wrong. Let you sleep a little better at night. We did a lot as a family. We camp in the summer. We always had family vacations. Teresa's 18 months younger than her brother, and as much as they could fight like no 2 people can, they almost never wanted to be apart. You know, they couldn't, I need to move out of this house, I can't live with him anymore. And then the next question was, do you want to go to the beach with us? Is Zach going? But it's nice having a large family, and now she's older. She did incredibly excellent in high school. I couldn't ask for better, always gave it her all. And 6 months ago, she decides she's going to go to Ethiopia. Well, as a mom, I'm nervous, and my first gut is to say, you know what, maybe next year. But I prayed, and God told me, this is her path. And I've learned, we have 4 older children, some married, we have grandchildren, and I've learned it's their life to live. It's not your life to live. Let them choose. So I got it through my head that God has plans for her, and if this is where she wants to be, this is where she's going to be. And she went, and what a wonderful experience for her, and thank God for technology so that I could talk to her and know she was okay, and praise God for the wonderful people who went with her, so I had some peace at home knowing that she was with people who cared for her. So Teresa's off to college, so Ethiopia was a little break-in for my daughter moving away, and I've been a nurse for... I know. She's going to be going to the University of New England for nursing, and I've been a nurse for 23 years, and when she told me she was going to be a nurse, my first instinct was, really? It's hard work, and she said, Mom, she's always been kind of logical, she said, Mom, nursing is one of the courses that after 4 years, you know you have a job when you get out. And I said, you're right, go do it. So hopefully she becomes a nurse and takes it a little further, and maybe return to Ethiopia, but and help them there. But we are so proud of her, and a little scared because we've never done this before, sending a child off to college, but we'll do it all together. We love you, Teresa.
Thank you, Christine. At this time, what we're going to do is I'd like to acknowledge our graduates. I know one lady sitting there going, don't put me on the spot, you're going to be put on the spot. Not just that our seniors are graduating from high school, like I said, we have graduates from college too, so this kind of more from a senior thing to anyone who's graduating. So I, as the youth director, would like to acknowledge our graduates too. So when I call your name, you can come on up. I have flowers for you, and then we can kind of give a round of applause for them. So our first person I want to call up here is Olivia DePino. You guys know Olivia DePino is graduating from Bay Path University in paralegal. We'd just like to thank you very much for your hard work. With a degree in political science. The next lady, I was going over and over and over how to kind of introduce this one up, but I felt I had to kind of just take a break for a second and kind of really acknowledge her. This is for our seniors, and we do congratulate you guys. But there's one lady here who I want to make sure I get a really nice congratulations for. Is not going to say her name yet, but this lady has started the program here. She's the one who started the Senior Sendoff. It was going for like 6 years before I came along. And there was a time where I was sitting here and my oldest daughter graduated, and his nephew kind of told me about the ropes and let me know what goes on and stuff. And I said, you know, it's definitely a blessing. But what I really want to share is the fact is this wouldn't be here without her. And it goes full circle for the fact is she left the youth director job to go off to college. As you know, she has 4 children, 4 grown children, went off to college, 4 years of college at Gordon Conwell, back and forth, the sacrifices of going there, coming back, and then Steve, who's a great mentor to me, talks about those late nights where, his wife's not coming back to late night and stuff. So it was a big sacrifice on her, but what I want to share is the fact is she gets to be here for this time. We acknowledge her. It goes full circle for the fact is wouldn't be here without her. So I would love to honor her, making sure that we give a nice round of applause to our past youth director who showed me a lot and where I should go. And he's just been a great mentor, her and her husband. And I just thank you very much for coming here, and like I said, congratulations again for graduating in Masters in Counseling, and you're going to do wonderful work. And I thank you again, so I would like to call Miss Ray and Nephew. Thank you very much, Ray. So first person we have is Edward Balash, who represents our 7th grade. So come on down, Edward. Now each one of them are holding a candle, a torch, that represents the light of the world. So that's what their torches mean. Next we have, if you're going through the bulletin, we have our 9th grader, is Victor Amajola. Come on down, Victor. Okay. All right, well, he doesn't have to use the candle. You can just come on down and walk down. There we go. Good job, Victor. Victor goes to South Hadley High. Edward goes to Granby. Next we have is, if you look at our bulletin, a 10th grader, Charles, but Charles is not here. So what I want to do is acknowledge our juniors who will be sitting here next year. So first we'll have is Owen Ortiz. Owen Ortiz is a junior at Turner's Falls Regional. Next we have is Hannah Rue. Hannah Rue will be graduating next year from Granby Junior Senior High. And then we have my daughter Jade Thomas, who will be graduating from South Hadley High. Now this is the time we have a little photo op, so I'm going to call each one of our seniors to come up and just stand around them. Can I get Amelia to come on up? We'll get Nathan Price to stand up. We'll get Mr. Garrett Kosher to stand up. Tosin Amajolo. And Teresa Yaberninsky. Now this is our representation from our Second Baptist class. We have our 7th graders to our 12th grade. So if I can just give a round of applause for everyone here. You can be seated. You can take your cameras with you. What we do right now, it goes along with your bulletin. If you guys want to pull out your bulletins, because there's things that we're going to ask of you guys to kind of partake in the rest of the ceremony. So I'm going to pass this off to Kenny, so he's going to start us up. So if you guys will all open up your bulletins, we have a couple of words that we want to share with you guys. You guys can go along with us, and we'll just keep going all the way down to the end.
Sisters and brothers in Christ, today is the day of sending forth. These seniors are here today because we, their Christian family, are preparing to release them into the world. They are no longer children, but our job is not over as their church family. As the graduates, you are no longer one of the small children running the halls of this church, but you will always be what the Bible calls the saints, members of God's own house. That house is built on the foundations of the prophets with Jesus as the cornerstone. Each of you is a grand cathedral, wonderfully made to be a dwelling place for the Holy Spirit.
Now, graduates, after I finish, you guys will say, "We will." Will you promise to remember that this is a place of God, of friends, and of love? Will you strive to live up to what you learned at church, to practice what you promised at your baptism? Will you continue to learn and grow in your faith and love of your Savior, Jesus Christ?
Let us all stand. Tonight we are united as one body of God in all places, at all times, confessing our faith and trust in triune God. You believe in God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We do.
Do you agree to renew your covenant with God and these new graduates? Will you continue to love them and guide them, counsel them to pursue a Christian lifestyle, and to look to God for directions in their lives? Amen. Graduates, do you promise to participate in the work of God's church here and elsewhere in the world? Will you continue to worship Him? Will you serve Him, care for His sheep? Will you seek God's will for your life? I will. We will? Can I hear you? Okay, can you please join me in our saying of our Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. You guys can be seated. So at this time, this concludes our ceremony. But on the back here, I do have a couple special thank yous. I just want to kind of ramble off. And then once we're done here, we can go inside the gym. I have ice cream there, ice cream bars and ice cream sandwiches. So we can kind of have a little social hour. I have some cake there, so we can kind of have a piece of cake and just kind of spend a little time together and just kind of congratulate everyone. So my special thanks goes to the Totally Teen group. As you see the bulletins out there, the picture frames, a lot of teens kind of helped out with getting pictures, picking out, choosing pictures. Some of the families helped out bring the pictures, so I would like to thank them all. I'd like to thank Pastor Kenny for his opening prayer. I'd like to thank Suzanne DeBurge for your scripture reading. I'd like to thank Allison Lochner for those great words of encouragement. And also Rhonda Hunter for great words of wisdom. Obviously, a lot of this, and you guys are probably aware of this, a lot of this can't happen without my wife, dear Lori, who oversees a lot of things in my life and then oversees a lot of things as the youth director. to help, gets everything run smoothly. As you can see, these bulletins, everything comes out. It does not go unseen by her. Anything that kind of gets put out, she kind of, let me read it over, let me check it over. So she's my rewrite, my correction, my helper, my right-hand lady. So I just can't thank her enough. To all my step-up teams who came up and for your step-up ceremony. And again, to my graduates of college, I just thank you very much. It's hard work going through high school and then graduating from college. And obviously with Ray Ann, graduating from college with kids who are graduating from college and going through school and all that. So that's a great, remarkable accomplishment. And I thank you guys very much. And again, just thank everyone for attending. This has been a remarkable year. We'll do it again next year. So thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you.